Buenas noches, LULAC. Thank you for the opportunity that you have afforded me tonight to share with you once again the vision of progress and prosperity that we seek for all the citizens of our great American nation, and particularly to our Hispanic brothers and sisters. My appreciation to Roger Rocha, LULAC National Presidents, to past presidents Margaret Moran, Rosa Rosales, Hector Flores, Belén Robles, Rick Dovalina, and all the distinguished guests from our national board, and of course to our speaker, Loretta Lynch. It is indeed an honor to be addressing all of you tonight. For many years now, LULAC's National Convention has been a special platform for sharing our common objectives and vision regarding civil rights of our people. That's my one-year-old daughter. She's crashing my party. The vision of how we can improve the quality of life and the way forward for the Hispanic population in the United States. And particularly in my case, it has served to showcase.
I have to get their cue.
She gets easily tired of listening to her dad.
That way we're coordinated.
Thank you so much.
She is the future.
That's
I was
right.
mentioning that. She is the future. Un aplauso para la nena. Come on. Nuestros niños son el futuro.
She plays the congas as well. While we all know that my island has been making national headlines very lately because of economic and fiscal turmoil, the truth of the matter is that now is the best time ever for Puerto Rico to define a clear path forward towards prosperity and towards growth. Now is the time for the phoenix to arise from the ashes. Now is the time to make Puerto Rico the first fully Hispanic state in the American nation. Our island represents some big challenges in civil rights in America. Yet it also affords a great opportunity for the whole Latino community. Last year, I asked you to imagine a state that would be virtually 100% Latino, and this year, I ask you to help us strive for it. This Latino state would be the 27th most populous state in the nation, and it would be the 4th most populous Hispanic state in the nation. A state that would have 2 senators and 5 to 6 House representatives, to be stalwarts in the fight for all Hispanics in the United States. I challenged you to imagine a state that would support all of the important efforts LULAC has pushed forward in the past century. A state that could serve as a natural, geographic, and cultural connector to the rest of the Americas, providing the exchange of languages, commerce, influence, and ideas that help define all of us as Hispanics and as Americans. A state that could be a center of higher education development, having many accredited universities that can provide a bilingual education where future Hispanic American scientists, doctors, engineers, and professionals can start their careers and influence their respective fields in the US and globally. Our 51st state would be a beacon to highlight the fight for Hispanic issues. With 2 senators, 5 representatives, our 51st state will work together with the entire Hispanic community to advance educational and employment opportunities, fair treatment of immigrants, access to health care, and so many other issues that hit close to home in so many of our communities nationwide. With our 51st state under our belts, instead of working in silos, partition objectives, I envision a strong national community of Hispanics working together, not separately, on issues that concern us all. Well, this year, that vision is becoming closer than ever. But the fight must continue. Culture and social diversity continue to evolve in the United States. And our society grows richer as the Hispanic community integrates into a nation that was founded on the principles of liberty and democracy. As a nation, we've had a long-standing tradition of uniting in times of crisis and aiding those that lack those liberties and those civil rights. However, at this time, the government of the United States does not have the moral wherewithal to talk about democracy in Cuba, Venezuela, or any other parts in the world while having 3.5 million citizens under conditions of inequality in Puerto Rico. The government of the United States cannot talk about democracy while it maintains Puerto Rico as a colonial territory. Let's not forget that in November 2012, the people of Puerto Rico voted against the current colonial territorial status and voted in favor of statehood as the way forward for Puerto Rico. Our Civil Rights Commission clearly stated that every day that Puerto Rico remains a territorial colony of the United States, our human, civil, and democratic rights are being violated. The time has come to make the U.S. bigger and better with the admission of Puerto Rico as its 51st state. Let me say this part in Spanish. Este es el momento. El gobierno de los Estados Unidos no tiene la fuerza moral para hablar de democracia en Cuba o en Venezuela o en cualquier parte del mundo, mientras bajo su propia bandera 3.5 millones de ciudadanos bajo condiciones de desigualdad de derechos civiles vivan bajo la nación. El gobierno de los Estados Unidos no puede hablar de democracia mientras mantenga a Puerto Rico como una colonia. Llegó el momento de igualdad para todos los puertorriqueños como ciudadanos americanos. Llegó el momento de hacer más grande a los Estados Unidos con la admisión del Estado de Puerto Rico. Both national parties, Democrats and Republicans alike, have included language in their platforms supporting the right of the people of Puerto Rico to become a state of the Union, if they so choose, and have made a commitment to push forth that option through Congress. Additionally, I know we are closer than ever to having a fully Hispanic state. I am running for governor of Puerto Rico, and together with my running mate, Jennifer Gonzalez, heading to Congress as our first female resident commissioner, we will be presenting legislation to begin the process of Puerto Rico's admittance as the 51st state of the Union. We will be pushing agenda. We will be pushing the agenda in Washington because Puerto Rico's best chance and perhaps only real chance to come out of this economic turmoil is to become a state. Fostering a stronger and more prosperous future for the people of our island has become one of my main objectives and motivations in my run for office. But speaking of motivations, what drives my generation might be very different from what drove those that came before us. You see, I'm not only running for office to hold office. I'm not running for office to have a long-standing political career. I'm running to enable change that is necessary for Puerto Rico to go through the process of progress. I'm running because I want to stay in Puerto Rico and not leave like thousands of others of professionals that had to find better lives in the States. I'm running for office because I refuse to sit on the sidelines and watch while our rights are being continually violated and as our island slowly crumbles. But more importantly, I am running for office because, as you saw, I have a 1-year-old daughter, and I want her to have a better Puerto Rico than what I did, and I want her to stay in Puerto Rico. I want my baby girl, Claudia Beatriz, to grow up in a prosperous Puerto Rico, where she was born. I want her to have what every parent over here wants for their own children. I want her generation to have access to quality education, no matter where they came from, no matter if they're Latino or not, no matter if they have the resources or not. I want her to be able to get quality health care if she needs so, and get equal pay for equal work. I want my daughter to be in a better Puerto Rico than the one that was left for us. And I want her to enjoy the full rights afforded to all American citizens while living in American soil and protected by the American flag. I want for her what I want for all of your children. And our path forward, attaining our Hispanic state, will be a matter of creating that critical mass that ignites the issue within the powers that be. It will depend on our capacity to get organized, to work with each other, to trust each other. We already have the consent of the people of Puerto Rico and the support of the 2 national parties. Now it's time for action. For this to work, we need to create a concerted effort from everyone who is willing to stand up for our community and fight for our rights. My aspiration is that one day, in the not so distant future, for all of us to come together again in a place like this, where I'm sure they'll all have a few more wrinkles, that I'll weigh a few more pounds, that I'll have a little bit less hair in my head, but that I can see us getting together and recalling a time when the Latino community had to make a decision. Either we stand together and fight for each other or allow things to go in the wrong direction. We'll talk to each other with a grin on our face, talking about how we decided to stand together, tackle difficult situations, and succeed together. I call upon you to be the generation that pushes America forward and that provokes equality for all and that allows for the first fully Hispanic state to be part of our federal government. So let's work together on immigration, on housing, on human rights, on access to health care, but also let's take ownership of Puerto Rico's request for statehood as a national Hispanic and Latino issue. It is in our best interest to do so. Let's form a united front together to gain greater national power, to battle inequality, provide opportunities for all our people. This great state of Puerto Rico will not only benefit those that reside in the island, it will be a state for all Hispanics in our nation. It will be my state, it will be your state, it will be our state. Sí se puede, sí se puede. Muchas gracias y que Dios les bendiga.